We have an audience out there asking us, begging us, telling us, make another Bond picture.
And that was back when they were making one every couple of years, never mind the 2 a decade rate we're on now. Good evening, Mr. Bond fans, and welcome to my inaugural Bond 26 news vlog. A no doubt long and sad series of videos in which 3/4 of the playlist is me reacting to Barbara Broccoli shrugging her shoulders and going meh every time anyone asks her how production of Bond 26 is coming along. So yeah, we're going to be talking about some comments that Bond producer Barbara Broccoli made in Variety recently. This is one of the first times that we've actually had some official news of what is going on behind the scenes, and it's all been very quiet on the official front since the release of No Time to Die, and now I guess we know why. Bond franchise producer Barbara Broccoli says it's going to take some time before Craig's replacement is named. It's a big decision, Broccoli told Variety at the Longacre Theatre on Thursday at the opening night of Macbeth on Broadway, which she is producing and in which Daniel Craig is also starring. It's not just casting a role, it's about a whole rethink about where we're going. I'm just here celebrating one of the greatest actors on the planet, Daniel Craig. I think a few of us at the start of 2022, we came into this year, it's the 60th anniversary of the Bond film series, came into the year thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if by the end of this year, by the time we come around to Global James Bond Day in October 2022, that they have like the next Bond to announce. And I think we're all kind of jazzed for some kind of big news like that, and I guess that reading these comments from Barbara Broccoli has helped me kind of reformat my expectations about what we're gonna get from the rest of this year. While some time can be quantified in different ways, and Broccoli was obviously at this event to promote Daniel Craig in Macbeth on Broadway, and I suppose that her comments are going to be focused on him. She doesn't want to take the spotlight away from him, the red carpet of his own show. I don't think that her words were necessarily off the cuff. I think that obviously everywhere she goes, she's going to be asked, well, what's the next Bond film going to be like? So I think that for her to say that it is going to take some time and that there is going to be a whole rethink about where they're going with it, I think that that is very significant. And also I think it speaks to a much larger issue of how this is about more than just who the guy in the tuxedo is. Obviously the question of who's going to be the next James Bond is the sexiest aspect of a new era of Bond. Like obviously the actor, the lead actor that's the one that everyone has opinions on, that's the one that you're gonna get clickbait articles from and whatnot, but really there are a good few key creative roles that will need to be filled before they even get close to deciding who the bloke is gonna be. And unfortunately for geeks like myself who do get very interested in the whole behind the scenes wrangling of these things, there are no bookies odds on who's gonna write the next Bond film. I'd like to bet the farm on Purvis and Wade returning to write the next Bond film. Who is Purvis and Wade? That is, if the production format stays the same as it has done previously. Just as an example, for Casino Royale, director Martin Campbell was announced as the director of that film in February 2005, whereas Daniel Craig was announced as Bond in October of that same year, and obviously there's an awful lot of negotiations and screen tests and whatnot that goes on in that interim period, but even by then they had something resembling a script, like they had an idea of where they were going to go and what they wanted to do with it. And that was still with Purvis and Wade, so the writers that they'd worked with on the last couple of films. So for this new era, they're potentially going to be auditioning new writers and directors before we even get close to a new Bond, as I say, assuming that they follow the same format that they've had previously. I mean, Martin Campbell was involved in the choice to select Daniel Craig as James Bond. He had a creative input into that, and so this isn't just Barbara Broccoli waking up one morning and looking at the bookies odds and being like, alright, yep, I'll put all my money on Henry Cavill and then I'll phone him up and cast him. And taking a step back even further from that, on the studio front, Amazon has obviously acquired MGM, and MGM has certain approvals and vetoes that they can make as part of their stake in the Bond franchise, so they're obviously going to be needing to approve some of these decisions, and the two people who were chairman and president of MGM have left. So that's a whole other aspect of this puzzle that probably needs to be figured out, and once those people are in MGM, how is Eon going to work with them, and just as Amazon as a whole? And then perhaps even more pertinent is, what is Eon Productions itself going to look like? I don't think like anything official has ever been released regarding this online, but I've mentioned this in other videos. On premiere night of No Time to Die at the Albert Hall, Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson came out onto the stage to introduce the film and said a few words about, how pleasure to make and all that kind of stuff. And then Barbara Broccoli had what felt like a impromptu little speech where she kind of got the microphone and started thanking Michael G. Wilson for being a wonderful producing partner, his input in the series over the decades and all that kind of stuff, and he got a round of applause. And it certainly felt to me like this was some kind of this was this was his last bow at this kind of thing. And fair enough, the guy's 80 years old and he's got a fantastic legacy with these films, but assuming that he's not going to be as active a producer as he has been throughout the decades previously, what does that mean? Is Barbara Broccoli gonna be going this alone, or are Michael G. Wilson's sons, who have been involved in the Bond franchise, are they gonna step up, and is this really gonna stay as a family business and they're gonna be taking the reins from their dad and Barbara? It's a big piece of the puzzle that needs figuring out. The bottom line is that there's gonna be an awful lot of new faces at the table with opinions, and I don't mean to come across as a Debbie Downer, because, as I say, in a way, I'm obviously disappointed because I would like them to kind of move on, particularly with No Time to Die's release date being so postponed and that film being the way that it is, and you can see my big review of that film for more of my opinions, but it does leave a bit of a big shadow, and I am keen to get going to see what is going to be next for this series. That being said, I do appreciate that she made these comments, actually, because while disappointing, it has allowed me to reconfigure my expectations for this year, and I'm just generally not expecting anything terribly concrete about the next phase of Bond this year. I think maybe by the end of 2023 we might be seeing something, or something resembling news of the more exciting production roles, I guess. The writers, directors, the actor, of course. I would imagine that maybe next year we'll see some rumblings on that, but I feel like from now for about a year, any kind of news we're gonna get is gonna be related to executives and studios, and we'll be listening into the shareholder meetings for any sliver of information that might come out about the future of this series. And while it obviously would be very neat and tidy to get news about the next phase of the series in the 60th anniversary year, wouldn't it be a wonderful celebration to end this year with something concrete about the next film? I am actually kind of okay with this year being about retrospective and about looking back and celebrating the 25 films in this series. We have a couple of new continuation novels coming out this year. The IO interactive game is still in the pipeline. Here in the UK, there have been some special screenings of the Bond films, and I'm still holding out for that 4K Blu-ray set sometime this year. If I get that, I'll be very happy. There are the rumours about the GoldenEye N64 remaster potentially coming, which is great. I guess that's kind of the main moral I'd like to leave this video on, to kind of be prepared for this year to be a celebration of the things that are already with us, rather than anything new. And as ever, when it comes to future Bond news, treat anything you hear from an unofficial source with skepticism and a huge bucket of salt, because we're obviously going to continue to get the articles talking about bookies odds and the usual round of, is it going to be Tom Hardy, is it going to be Idris Elba, is it going to be Henry Cavill? And yeah, I think we're still a little way away from having an actor well and truly in the picture. And given how long it's taking them to actually make these films, maybe the next Bond actor hasn't even been born yet. I will be leaving links below to the articles that I have cited and featured in this video, so please do check those out for yourselves. And obviously below there are also going to be links to my various social media pages, including my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and my Patreon page, oh, and my Instagram page. So do head over to those links and follow me on those sites if you care to do so. And also below, please do let me know your own thoughts in the comment section about this latest, is it news if the news is no news? I don't know, but I got a couple of comments and messages from people saying that, asking, you know, are you gonna do a video reaction to this? And I guess it's kind of, I'm excited to start off my Bond 26 news playlist, and we'll see how long this goes on for until we actually get Bond 26. And if you have liked this video and want to stay up to date on future video uploads that I make on this channel, then please do consider clicking the subscribe button and the Mrs. Bell notification button. And with all that being said, and until next time, Bond fans, happy anniversary, and so long for now.